guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I am Ange, and today's video is going to be some books that I'm looking forward to reading in 2021. So I am in a new filming location this morning. Well, not really a new, I'm just lower. I decided to film on the floor today because I don't know, I just kind of wanted something a little different. And I know I'm still sitting in front of this bookcase I don't even know what's going on. But I don't know. There's something different about sitting on the ground and filming. I've had some books sitting on my shelves for the longest one that's been sitting on here has probably been like, how long have I been out of high school? I think I got one of these books my senior year of high school, 6 years ago about. I feel old. Most of these books are going to be from my own physical copies that I just want to read, and other ones are, there's going to be a couple that I want to read that I do not have yet, or they are not available yet, or I just haven't gotten them. We might as well start with the book that I've had the longest, which is The Book Thief, and I hit myself for not having read this because I've heard wonderful things about this book, and I just am really excited to read it. So I do plan on reading this in 2021. Make sure to follow along for the rest of the year and make sure that I read this. And if I don't, yell at me. So that is the first book I want to read. These are in no particular order either. I just want to read these books to read these books. The second book that I want to read is Wuthering Heights. And I've tried to read this book. This is one that I have started many times and just have not been able to get through it for whatever reason. I think it's very similar to when I read Pride and Prejudice and Little Woman, that it's just a language barrier, which is not even a language barrier, it's just a century-year barrier that makes it difficult to read. Funny story, the reason I've always wanted to read Wuthering Heights is because I think this is the book. Because in The Mortal Instruments, Jace always talks about this being his favorite book because of Heathcliff and Catherine. So I've always wanted, no, that is A Tale of Two Cities. I've always wanted to read that book, and I sort of read that book in high school. So why have I wanted to read Wuthering Heights? I think there's a similar situation. There's a book that I've read that the main character is obsessed with one of these books. But A Tale of Two Cities is what I'm thinking of. And I've also had this for a couple of years and just have not read it. And I'm going to read it this year. I'm going to sit down and read it. I really hope I land on a classic genre for a Bookopoly sometime. So I just pull this out and read it. Okay, another book that has been sitting on my shelf for years, which I don't even think this one's my book. So we're just going to go with that. This book is The Lord of the Rings Trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. And sorry I said that weird. You can tell that I have tried reading this many times as well. I have a bookmark in here and I just can't. I don't know why. I get to the Tom Bombadil. Is that how you say it? And I'm on page like 131. I've also tried listening to the audiobook version of this. I just can't. I don't know why. I love the series. I love the movies so freaking much. And like, I love Lord of the Rings, but for some reason the books are just really hard for me to get into. And I don't know, maybe it's the fact that this book looks so daunting because it is literally all three of them in one, or what, but I really want to read this series this year. It's also my goal. It's gonna happen. Watch it. It's happening. I don't know. This is one of my sister's copies. I don't know if it's Shailene or Jolene, but thanks, guys. Okay, so another book that I'd like to read is The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab, because I have heard marvelous things about this. Like, I have not heard a single bad review on it. I absolutely want to read this. All I know about it really is that there is this girl, Addie Larue, who basically makes a deal with the devil to have the perfect life or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe just like she can be immortal, but absolutely nobody will remember her. Any type of interaction with her, they will not remember her. So I think it goes through kind of her life of when that happens. And I know there are times in like 2014, I'm not sure. So I'm very excited about this book, and also I just really like the cover of it. And I will be reading this sometime soon, hopefully. Another book that I really want to read is the first book in the Chain of Gold series by Cassandra Clare, and I don't even think she has any others out from this series. I think this is pretty new, but I absolutely love the Mortal Instruments, and I like the Clockwork Angel series, which is like kind of prior to the Mortal Instruments. Oh, it's the Infernal Devices, duh. What did I call it? The Clockwork series? Clockwork Angels? What? The Clockwork Angel is the first book, but Infernal Devices is the actual series. I also want to read The Dark Artifices because I don't know, I didn't even know that was a thing. I remember I used to have there was a Bane book, The Shadow of Bane or something. The Bane Shadows, Bane Chronicles maybe. I don't remember. I had it and I didn't really read it, and I think I donated it, but I'd like to actually read that for once too. But I'm very excited about this. Look how thick it is. I love that. I love the Mortal Instruments, and that's another series I'd really like to reread. I don't think that'll happen this year, but I would like to reread that series because I absolutely loved it. I have no idea what Chain of Gold is about, but all I know is I love the Shadowhunter world, so that's all that matters. Okay, the last book of my physical copies that I want to read. There's actually one more. I would like to read Lone Survivor. That's another one I got my senior year, and I just haven't. So if you guys have read it, is Lone Survivor good? I would really like to know. The last physical copybook of mine that I want to read is the New Jim Crow. I just really want to educate myself, and this might actually just be a book that I read on my own without doing Bookopoly or anything, because I don't even think I have a category on my Bookopoly that this would fit under. So I just really want to read this. So this might just be one that I pick up whenever and just read it. So that is it for my physical copies, but the first book that I want to read as soon as I can is Deadly Dreams by K.J. Sutton. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you guys have been watching my videos, you know I'm obsessed with the Fortuna Sworn series. I'm not even gonna really say anything about it. Fortuna Sworn is a nightmare who is able to cause people to experience their worst fears, and she meets a dark fairy and things get kind of crazy. She makes a deal with him. She's been searching for her brother who went missing 2 years ago, and that is the gist of the series, and it is freaking phenomenal. Absolutely obsessed with it. It's a dark fantasy romance. If you're into that, and there's a lot of like fairies and stuff. So if that's your thing, check the series out. Freaking brilliant. It comes out February 9th, and I have pre-ordered it, and I just cannot wait for it to get here. I will be reading it no matter what. I don't think I can wait. I think I'll be reading it no matter what in February. So my next anticipated read for 2021 is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. So in 2020, I read The Hate You Give and was absolutely obsessed with it. I loved that book so much. It was so good. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And I follow Angie Thomas on Twitter because she's just, I love her. She's great. She's always like tweeting about simming and just like playing video games. I'm like, I freaking love that, because that's what I like to do. And so she's been tweeting a lot about Concrete Rose, and it is finally released, so I do need to pick that up. And I'm actually really excited about this because when I was reading The Hate You Give, I just absolutely freaking loved Star's dad, Maverick, and Concrete Rose is all about Maverick growing up, and I just like, I'm so excited to read about young Maverick. So that is also very high up on my TBR. Anyway, guys, I think that is the last book that I want to read. I want to read a bunch of Brandon Sanderson books. I've heard nothing but good things about this man, so hit me with your recommendations for a first-time Brandon Sanderson reader. First-time Brandon Sanderson reader. Anyway, I think that's it. That's it for this video, guys. I only talked about 8 books that I want to read, but that is fine. I kind of just randomly find books. I mean, obviously I want to read the 3rd book in the Penny Royal Academy series, but that's like not new really, and a lot of my books aren't new. They're just books I want to read, but that's kind of obvious because I've talked about it recently. As promised, I do want to highlight a couple booktubers. The first small booktuber that I really want to highlight is Katya Winer. If I pronounce your name wrong, Katya, I'm so sorry, but she has some fantastic videos. I love watching her videos because she has the most calming voice I've ever heard. And she almost sounds like a nature documentary. She has that kind of voice, and you just want to listen to every word she's saying. I absolutely love it. She also posts some really cool videos that like I would never think of doing. One of the most recent ones that I watched was she talked about the trope of amnesia, and I was just like, it's not something like I would ever think of, and I just really appreciated that different perspective that I would never think of. Anyway, definitely check her out. She's got some fantastic videos. She's just great. She's super great. The second booktuber I want to highlight is, I'm sorry if I butcher your YouTube name, Aramus. I feel like we have some pretty similar tastes in books that we like to read. I absolutely love her bookshelves, bookcase. She's someone else that has a voice that I just really enjoy listening to. I really enjoy how like Aramus just doesn't, like, she doesn't care. Like if she doesn't read a book, doesn't like a book, she's not gonna read it. She's not gonna finish it. And I wish I was like that. I'm trying to be more like that, but I just really love her like authenticity and just genuine either like or dislike of books. No questions, it doesn't matter. It's just she doesn't like it or she likes it. And I think that is so refreshing and absolutely love that. So definitely give her a look at, and as usual I will post both of their channels below. I just think these two ladies are really awesome and definitely just want to support them in the booktube community. And so with that being said, guys, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!